Alright. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Grom Moto vlog. I've been trying to figure out the whole moto vlog setup, and hopefully my camera angles are going the way I want them to, and our sound is good and all that. But I'm gonna take you on a little rip through the country here on our little twisty back roads on the little Grom, which is the reason why I bought it. It's just a fun little 125. You don't need crazy power to have fun. This is such a flickable little bike, and it's so light. That's what I really like about it. Just get you out in the wind a little bit. Nothing crazy. You don't have to worry about doing insane speeds on the highway. And if you're anything like me, if I have the power, I will use it. And if I have 125, I'll use all 125 of it. And that really isn't going to get you too much. Not going to get into too much trouble, hopefully. At least power-wise. I mean, you still got to be careful. Still on a bike, so. But we got our little mods we've done on this thing. You guys been following along. We've got our cheapo exhaust, as you can hear. See, we are like pretty much wound out on this thing, going up hills. I mean, it still does 36, which is a lot better than the little scooter that I had before this, which was obviously not for me. It was for the wife, and she decided that that was not her thing, so that's okay. Two wheels is not for everybody, and I'd rather somebody admit that and we don't have any problems. That's the way I see it. See, now we're at 50. Pretty much wound up in fourth gear. So it's not a powerhouse, not in any way, shape, or form. You can go and do big bore kits and get a couple extra miles per hour out of them, but me personally, I'm not really into that. I mean, you can do it. I'm not going to say I'm never going to do it, but at this point in the game, I think I'm just going to chill with it, and you're really not getting that big of a gain, so just run it stock. That'll be alright. Motorcycles are so fun, though. I love riding. Riding has always been a part of my life. I bought my first motorcycle when I was 20. I think I was 20. I had a CB 750 Nighthawk S I got from a dirty pawn shop. It was sitting in the back. It was like a $450 bike purchase, but it got me on the road. It got me on two fairly worn out bald tires, and the bike had been crashed and everything else, so it was a piece of junk that pretty much somebody would have parted out. But at that point in my life, that was two wheels and a 750, and it ran, so I was happy about that, and got me out into the world of motorcycles, which I have been hooked on ever since. And honestly, if you think about it, you could buy a lot more motorcycle for Grom money, but once you get over the initial purchase of the bike, really everything else is cheap from there on in. Maintenance super cheap, tires are super cheap. Apparently insurance is a little bit higher than it should be on these, just because of, I guess, the amount of people that they have to pay out for. Not sure exactly why that is. Maybe because it's a beginner bike or whatever the case may be, but all in all, it's not terrible. Pretty sure anybody in the world could probably afford one of these, as long as you got a little bit of disposable income for a toy. One thing is, you gotta watch out for the cinters out here, because they put that stuff out on the roads in the wintertime, and it piles up in the corners, so you want to keep an eye out for that, especially earlier on in the season. I saw the street sweepers out, but there's still a big pile of them at the end of my driveway. But little bike, big world, that's kind of what this is. This is feels a lot faster than it really is. And yeah, it's just, if you have a small area to ride, it makes that area seem bigger. If you have a big bike, you're going to get to where you're going a lot faster. So yeah, that's just kind of my experience with it. It's been ripping the back roads, and it's really not a whole lot of miles. I can do a 15-20 mile ride, and it feels like I've been going for quite a while. And the bike looks good. It's fun. I did do the big fender delete on the back, and one thing I did find with that is if you do hit a huge pothole, which I've done, the tire will come up and hit the license plate, so be careful about that. It's one of the things I did notice. And one thing I might do is kind of a blind corner. Let's make sure nobody's coming. But I would like to probably get a clicker for the signal lights, because that's one thing that I do find I forget. And the little scooter that I had, well, my wife's scooter, that thing had one, and it was nice. It was like click, 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 click. You know, you have your signal light on. You don't look like a goofball. There we go. We got fifth gear. We are going 52 miles an hour up the countryside. Love it. The brakes on this thing are so much better than, well, let's talk a little bit. If you guys are new, I have a Navi as well, which was my first purchase. We bought the Navi and the Metropolitan, and Metropolitan, for a guy my size, I'm about 6 feet 250, and the Metropolitan is definitely too small for me. The Navi does actually pretty good with the 110, but it is carbureted and has some of the worst brakes on any bike I've ever ridden. But you expect that for, hey cow, expect that for a little cheap bike. And it does what it needs to do for what you pay for it. They're like $1,800 brand new, plus all your stuff. But yeah, little wheelie action. It's the first time I had the wheel come up on this thing. But I'm getting more used to it. Definitely want to, if you haven't ridden in a while, you just want to kind of break it in easy. You don't want to go crazy, especially on something little like this. You know, it takes a little bit of getting used to. But if you got some back roads, you can tell your wife that it's safer because it's small, but it still makes it up hills, which is nice. I mean, we're wound out pretty much all the time with this. Like I said, 125. We're going to use all 125 of them. But taking the Navi up this road was pretty slow. Like, you're starting, if you have anybody behind you, they're not going to be happy with you. And that was one thing I did not like about that. So I took that down to the beach. Even corners like that, I like to err on the side of caution, because you can kind of see a little bit of junk in the middle, and even on a little bike, you don't want to go down. So we're doing 30, 33 wound out, going uphill. So definitely not a powerhouse, but you know that going into it. There's the cinters I was talking about. Little piles of them everywhere. Here's some more. But usually in the intersections or whatever. But little bike, you got a lot of play in the lanes. You can throw the bike around a little bit, which is always fun. And with the exhaust on it, it's so much more fun because you can actually hear the engine just kind of makes you more one with your machine. I don't regret any of the mods that I've done to this thing. It's been definitely fun. I really like the levers. The factory levers are terrible. The factory mirrors are terrible. The factory headlight is the only thing I have left that I really don't like about this thing. So I would like to get like a pod or something I can put in there instead of that light that's there. But I need to get, I've seen some companies that have like a plate that goes in there where you can mount different lights, but I'm pretty sure I could build my own, because those things are not cheap. And that's one thing with little bikes, the parts, like I just finished saying that everything was cheap after buying this thing, but some of the aftermarket stuff can get pretty nutsy. I'm still going to do an oil change on this thing. We're at 355 miles. Woo-hoo! What up, buddy? He does not look happy. It's like, what is that guy doing? I'm riding a bike, homeboy. Get one, put a smile on your face. Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor, man. Be happy. You only got one life to live. Yeah, 5th gear is a downhill gear on this thing. Especially with me on it. But yeah, anyways, putting a light on the front, you could probably get like a nice cube light or something like that, or maybe even two. I got a few ideas rolling around that we'll see how that all pans out, but that'll be a little project I'm gonna work on to get a little better light, because I rode this thing to Bike Fest out in Ocean City, and at night the headlight is horrendous. It is LED, but that's about the extent of it. It's just like a little bit of kind of diffused light in front of you. Not the best. So a little 8,000 RPM shifts. Definitely, if you want to get into the mechanics of a motorcycle, like if you're into you got a scooter or something like that, and you want to get into something that you can shift, this thing it's it. Does all the motorcycle things without the crazy power. And I've ridden big bikes lots. My first bike was a 750, so that thing had a ton of power. And I've owned all the way up to a 1600 supercharged and all of that. There's just a place for a bike like this in everybody's collection, I believe. So, if you guys ride Groms in Pennsylvania, hit me up in the comments. Maybe we'll get together and do some riding with some other peeps, because I think there'd be nothing more fun than getting a bunch of Groms together. I know there's a bunch of other people too that do it, but you kind of got to be close in proximity, unless you're trailering your bike around. But I mean, this is a road where I normally would not go with a scooter. Like, it's like 40 miles an hour, and you can definitely, everybody goes a little bit over, obviously, and you can not hold up traffic. That's my real thing about the Grom, is you can ride it and you don't hold up traffic. People aren't getting annoyed with you. You're not always checking your mirrors, being like, oh man, somebody can be tailgating me or whatever. This is just kind of a thing you can actually go town to town on the back roads with without having any concerns really about not being able to keep up with the speed limit. Like, even wound out, we're in 5th gear, dropping a little bit, I'm still like 7 miles an hour more. This car's like, nah, we're not gonna go, because that guy's on a bike and he's ripping, yeah. Ford Flex. Hey Marty, what up? You guys have been following along for a while. Marty Motoring, he bought a Navi, so I might do some mini bike riding with him. Ride my Navi down to the beach. I'll probably bring this and ride that at Bike Fest this year, because that one lives down there anyway. So That one's fun up to about 35 miles an hour, but it's more or less a scooter. There's no clutch, there's none of that kind of stuff. It actually sits higher than this one, but after riding this one for a while, it is so, like, I'm one with the Grom. I'm so comfortable on it right now. Like, it's just the cheeky seats. You definitely got to go check them out and get some double padding for a cover, because the factory seat is horrible on these. And even with the cover on, it's a little stiff, so it takes a little getting used to. And the suspension's a little soft for my size, but it's fine. You can upgrade it, make it a little more heavy duty, but like I said, I'm not getting crazy with this thing. This is just a little bit of modifications. Getting out into the wind because I absolutely love it. Tunnel! More centers. So I had a little bit of a little slight hesitation there in fifth when I was revved up, so I don't know what that's all about, but we will monitor and see. Comes back. It never happened in any of the other gears. This little like, whoop, like a little hiccup. Not exactly sure why. I don't know if it's something to do with the clutch, maybe. I don't know. It's a stock clutch. Who knows? Who knows? Easy over the centers, and off we go again. So, yeah, it actually warmed up a little bit, which is cool, because I can finally get back to my happy place, which is riding stuff around and actually enjoying, rather than just modding all the time, which, you know, I guess we'll see how the motovlogs do, but take you guys on a little ride and see how that all goes. This up here, there's no cars coming. This road up here, there's a farm actually that you drive right through. The road goes right through their farm, so we'll keep it at the speed limit. Maybe going through anybody's property ripping. I don't know how many times I've been yelled at for going fast when I wasn't going fast, just because whatever I was on was loud. Especially my old Z24 Cavalier. Driving through neighborhoods, people yelling, slow down, and you're going like, you look down, you're going under the speed limit. Yeah. The dad Karens. I've dealt with plenty of those. Everybody's, I don't know, if you're not having a good time, they can't stand you having a good time, you know. Try to be respectful, try to be good. Just keep her chill, going past the cows, love cows. Grass on the road, I don't like that. Not a big fan of the clippings, so if you're clipping your lawn or you're mowing your grass, try not to blow it onto the road, because, well, everybody knows that stuff's like ice to a motorcycle. Go around a corner, and especially wet grass, not a good thing. If I blow any grass like all this stuff here, it's not that bad, but it's still the same kind of deal what I'm talking about right here. It's fine if you're going straight, but if you're going whipping into a corner or something like that and you're not expecting it, that could be bad news bears. So I always got to keep an eye out for stuff like that. But yeah, if I mow my grass and it goes onto the road, I always take the mower out on the road and blow it back onto my property, because you don't need to fertilize the road doesn't need it. but your grass does. So do yourself a favor. Get that stuff back over on your lawn. Get your lawn growing nice. But yeah, you gotta watch out for potholes out here too. Big old potholes, all that kind of stuff. You really watch the road a whole lot more when you're on a motorcycle. Kind of dip and dodge around all the stuff, especially in the spring. Be a little dicey at times. But I'm looking forward to summer. If you guys came along on my cruise video, took you guys over to the Bahamas, which was awesome. Had a great time out there on the cruise. Didn't know if I'd like cruises. There's some people that are pretty dead set against them, and I'm not gonna lie, I was probably one of those people not that long ago. I was like, cruise, who'd want to be on the toilet of the sea? Well, as a matter of fact, it's by far not a toilet. It is pretty awesome. You have this massive ship, all kinds of food, stuff to do, nice hotel rooms or staterooms. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Got to go on the ocean and do sailing days, and if that's your thing, it can be a great time. Definitely recommend it. There were some people saying that my bar end mirrors don't fit on these bikes for some reason. I'm kind of at a loss for why anybody would think that, because they're like, oh, your throttle's gonna stick. Well, mine doesn't. Mine's fine. If you would have followed the instructions the way I did it, you will be just fine. We are going uphill and accelerating, so at least we got that in our favor. Holding at about 7,800 RPM. So we got some diesel stuff coming up. If you guys want to hear a little channel news, we are going to Detroit. We're going to go see our buddy A-Rod, and we're going to get some stuff done to the Super Duty, and I got some more stuff I got to do to that tomorrow, so we'll get that all buttoned up. There's been some kinks I had to work out with some of our suspension stuff, but we'll go over all of that stuff in an upcoming upload for you guys here for the diesel stuff. But I do really like that truck, and I think it's coming along nicely. It's just sometimes you got to go through the motions and figure out certain things. So I'm hoping to put a lot of miles on this bike this summer. There's nothing more fun than just going for a quick little rip around the back roads and getting off the cell phone. What are your guys' thoughts on cell phones? Everybody's addicted to them, it seems. Just always, everybody's hooked in, and I'm guilty of it too. Let's go see if down here. It's a little farm road. But yeah, the phones can be a distraction. It's almost like a little addiction, you know. It's like, oh, I can get that little bump of excitement from a short video or whatever. And I mean, shorts have become such a thing now. Even like long form videos, people aren't really into that as much. They don't have the attention span anymore, it seems, unless you're like putting in crazy amount of work where you do an entire build in one video, which some people have been doing. It's always an evolving thing, YouTube. But motovlogs are fun. You get to have a little conversation, the thoughts on things that come to your mind while you're going through the gears. Kind of give you guys a little bit of my experience. I see the light on again. A little bit of my experience on the Grom and what it's like to own one as a guy in his 40s. And honestly, I think everybody should have one if you're a rider. So fun. Probably not the best bike in the world, but it's a thing. It's a thing of its own. It's like if everybody is riding a Grom, it's great. And at Bike Week, I was shocked. Like I don't know that I saw one other one. I was the only one. Everybody there was on their Harley baggers, their big stereo systems, going from light to light. So if you guys are riding Groms or Navis or any of that kind of stuff, come to Ocean City Bike Week this year. Should be a good time. One thing with this bike is you got to get used to the clutch on it, especially with these adjustable levers. It makes it a little easier. So that goes turn in. We'll wait for this guy too, because why not? We're not in a hurry. The catch point is like right at the end, so you got to get used to that. I'm actually not even sure how many miles we had on the bike when I started today, but sure we put a few on today. I didn't go the long way that I sometimes do. There's always fun ways to explore different roads back here. But hope you guys enjoyed coming along on our little Grom ride. If you guys like videos like this, definitely drop in the comments what you like to see, if you like to see more of these, because I have fun riding. I'm always riding, so throw the camera on is no big deal, especially now that I got my little motovlog set up here. So if you guys want to come for more rides with me, let me know. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have not already, hit that subscribe button for more motorsports content, diesel stuff, all the things that I end up getting into. And with that being said, keep that hammer down.